my dear students, there are some other aspects of equal employment opportunities which need to be considered when designing an application form. The following additional information may be job related in some circumstances, and such kind of a job related information can be sought from the applicants through the application forms. Age. Applicants may be asked only to indicate whether they have reached minimum age or below any maximum age that may apply to the law of employment. Sometimes there are age issues with the law of employment. For example, you are not allowed to hire someone having age less than 18 years. Maybe it is not according to the law of that country. Sometimes it is not a good idea to hire someone of a very old age. So if someone is reaching behind their minimum age or someone is reaching maximum age, then you need to ask such kind of questions in the application form. So it must be confirmed that the person is working under the same age bracket. Then sex. Information as to the person's gender should not be requested unless it is an inherent job requirement. If it is really a job requirement to mention about sex, if it is really a information which is need to be related to the job, then you can ask question about sex in the application form. Then national or ethnic origin. Yes, you can ask some question about national or ethnic origin when the employer may ask whether the applicant is legally entitled to work. There are some nationality or some ethnic origin people which are not entitled to work in your country. So you need to be very smart that you have to ask such kind of question just to include, just to ensure that person is legally entitled to work in your country or not. So how you would provide such kind of documents? Documentary proof of this eligibility may be asked for shortlisting stage. If someone is not providing documents to you, then obviously you would not shortlist such kind of candidates for the further selection process. It would save your time and money. Then name. If the applicant was previously employed under a different name, it is relevant to employment history may be requested. So sometimes some people have a different name in their previous organization. They may change their name. So such kind of information must be sought so you can ensure that that person is the relevant person to that particular application form. Then, my dear students, there can be a question about language. Questions on which language the applicant speaks, read, or write, or listen should be made only if the language skills is job related. Students, all of the jobs are not much specific about the language. So some of the jobs may really looking for the language skills, and if job related language skills are required, then you are allowed to ask such kind of question. For example, you are going to hire an English teacher. If you are going to hire an English teacher, if you are going to hire a language teacher, then you may need to require such kind of information in the application form. Then religion. No details of religion, affiliation, or practice may be sought unless the job requirement exists. If it is a job requirement, yes, you can sort such kind of information. The employer may inquire if the applicant is willing to work a specified work schedule. For example, if your work schedule is in conflict with your religious practices, then you may ask such kind of questions in your application form. Otherwise, you must need to be avoided such kind of questions in the application form because of equal employment opportunities concerns. Military service. Question on military services should be asked only if they are job related. Otherwise, no need to ask such kind of questions. Physical disability. The application form may ask about a physical disability only if it is relevant to the job. Sometimes there are some jobs which are related to the physical disability. So for the safety of yourself and for the safety of your colleagues, you may ask information about the physical disability of your candidates in the application form so you can get rid of the hazardous issues related to the physical disability and the workplace. Then the medical information. Application forms may indicate a job offer is conditional on the passing of medical exam if there is a bona fide occupational requirement for it. For example, there are some jobs which really need a people medically fit. If you really need that information, then you can ask that such kind of information can be required after the job offer. A medical exam should be conducted only after the selection decision has been made and only where required. If it is not required, then you don't need to ask for such kind of information. Height and weight, questions on height and weight may be asked only if they are relevant to the job. For example, if your job is related to the height or the weight, then you can get such kind of answers. And application forms need to be designed accordingly so that if charges of discrimination are to be avoided. Here is a sample application form which may include very important information such as educational qualification. You may ask about the technical qualifications, secondary qualification, tertiary qualification, and any special skills or training undertaken. Then there must be information about previous employment, and then there are information about the referees. For example, names and telephone numbers of at least 3 people who can be contacted must be provided, and any other further information can be sought from the candidates. My dear students, in conclusion, the equal employment opportunities component must need to be considered in the application forms for effectiveness of the selection procedure. If you will avoid such kind of information, it may lead to the discrimination and it can hamper the overall selection process. So equal employment opportunities and application form has a very strong relationship. So you must need to consider all items of equal employment opportunities when you are going to design an application form.